Welcome to Talk Dirt to Me, where two farmers shatter myths and take on the top issues facing America's farmers. Here's your hosts, Logan and Bobby Lee.
What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, a good afternoon edition.
It's been a while, I feel like, since we've done an afternoon one like this, hasn't it?
Well, it's been a while since we've had a rainy day where neither one of us were on a tractor or a combine or something like that, this time of the day. So.
Dude, I forgot how much I like it. I had to run to John Deere and get some real cheap parts for my combine. So I went and got that. And then, I came back and I was able to kind of take some time. I went ahead and, I worked out in the middle of the day. Like, I felt like an unemployed man today.
Well, yeah. So you went to Ripley today?
Yeah.
I did too. I went to the farm store. And
okay, what'd you have to get?
I just needed a bunch of mineral, and I went ahead and I like to, when I buy it, I just go ahead and buy a whole ton.
Yeah.
I can unload it with the tractor, and then I don't have to buy mineral for 4 or 5 months. And yeah, and it was just, I needed to go by the FSA office. My kids were with me. And so, which my son, and I don't totally do it to him, but like, I was like, all right, we're going to the government office. He's like, the government? I was like, yeah. I was like, these people, they're all right though.
Yeah, you're like, this is a okay side of the government.
My daughter's actually doing a project for school, and it's
on Ruby Ridge.
No, not quite, but it's like the 3 phases, I guess, of like development of like human culture or whatever. And so it's like the hunter-gatherer phase.
Okay.
The agricultural revolution.
And the what is industrial?
And then her third one is the formation of government. And I told her, I was like,
that's where we went wrong.
I was like, that's where we effed up. And my wife's like, you can't say that. I was like, that's where we fudged up.
Yeah.
I was like, you can say it like that, baby girl, and you can tell the teacher that you quoted that from me. So this is when we went wrong, when we started forming government.
And some people would say we went wrong at the agriculture revolution.
We should have just continued being hunters and gatherers.
They claim like that's when society began to get soft, is when we became like growers rather than just hunter-gatherers. Yeah. And there's some legitimacy to that.
Especially when we like industrialized it, where we, made it to the point where
machines do the heavy work.
Right. We only need, 1-2% of the population doing all the work.
Yep.
And their machines, and then everybody else, lives in a high rise and, has a desk job and does whatever they do in the big cities.
Well, for those of you listening, if you want to, I don't know, I was trying to think of some witty way to tie it in. I can't even think about it, but we just need you to hit that like button, hit subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. We need you to leave us 5-star rating on Apple and on Spotify, anywhere you're listening, iHeartRadio, Audible, wherever. And we also, before we mention our sponsors, I got to share, for those of you that follow be on Instagram and Facebook or whatever, we are trying to raise some awareness. One of our representatives, Deborah Moody, had asked me, hey, look, it's no secret, we've been talking about how bad things are in the row crop sector of farming for pretty much across the country. So I've been trying to rally some political support, and Deborah Moody, man, she's a go-getter.
She's our state representative, I believe.
I think so, and she is absolutely a baller. Like, man, I've reached out to a bunch of our politicians. I got some canned responses from a couple. I'll tell you, I got tickled, and I don't mind saying this because I can't stand the guy. In my district, is Steve Cohen your man?
He's our congressman, yeah.
Yeah, see.
We keep going with Cohen.
Yeah, man. Well, used to it was Kustoff, David Kustoff, and I really liked him.
They redid our districts.
Yep, and so now we got the cockroach that is Steve Cohen, and I can't stand that guy. And I emailed him about 2 weeks ago or however long now, never heard back from him.
Yeah, for those people outside of our area, so he's our congressman, but he also, when they redrew our districts, those of us on the west side of our county are in the same district as Memphis.
Yes.
And Cohen's an old white dude,
but he looks like a villain off of a Batman movie.
Yeah. If it's possible to have worse hair than me, it's him. I think it was Willie Harrington who was former mayor of Memphis who wasn't they didn't like each other, even though they're both hardcore Democrats. Like my dad always says, he described Cohen as he's just an old black woman, and he's clearly like an old white dude. But
he panders. He panders like crazy.
He does it's how the people of Memphis don't see straight through him.
Yeah.
But ever since he's become our congressman, because every now and then I'll, U.S. Cattlemen's Association, RCAF, whoever, be like, hey, we need to reach out to our representatives about this, and I always do, and you don't hear anything.
No,
obviously all of his voters are not in Tipton County. at all.
Tipton County is like 100% red.
Yeah,
our section votes so hard.
I would say we're 80-20 at least.
Yeah,
but then of course there's so many more people in Memphis. I don't even know that he would even campaign here to even try.
I don't think he did,
because our vote is so insignificant here compared to all the people in Memphis. But anyway,
I don't think he did. But yeah, Steve, he did respond to me one time. This was like last year or something. I was writing. It was something that had come up about, I don't remember, a bill or something in ag, and his response was something, and it actually was from him, but somebody, I got a congressman right now texted me. Oh, it's
you're big shot.
Paul, our man Paul Rose.
Oh yeah, so he's our state senator.
Yeah. So, well, I guess then this is my congressman.
I thought he was a state senator. Yeah, because Deborah Moody.
He is a senator, but I got a text.
But he's a state senator. He's not a U.S. senator.
Okay. Yeah. Howdy, Congressman Rose would like to talk to you. I felt like
Deborah Moody is state House of Representatives. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt pretty cool when we were on the combine. Our buddy Mr. Tim was riding with me, and that's when we were like cutting beans. I was trying my combine. I was on a downward spiral with my combine last week, but we were on the combine and my phone rang, and it was like General Assemblies in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm like, I might need to answer that one, and it was like some of the political people, and so I've been trying to get that going. So that's a long way of me saying we're trying to get some help because we are in bad shape. And again, y'all know that we have very mixed feelings about payments, but we're in a place right now where it don't really matter. I mean, we need help so bad that there's not really any other option.
Well,
so
and the system
is set up against us.
Yeah, I mean, and which this will tie into something that I'm going to talk about just here in just a few minutes with the cattle.
I can't wait. I'm going to throw out, before you get to that, I want to throw it and see if, I bet you were thinking about the same thing. But when I got a lot of problem with it, but what I want you guys to do, we need your help because there is federal aid in the works. I have found out that there is going to be some federal aid. Now, the problem, and this is one of the things I want to touch on this episode, so I'm not going to go into detail yet. What I want y'all to do is go on YouTube. I shared it just on the LH Farms YouTube channel, and it's just like a 3-minute video. I had to make it short so that it would work on like Instagram and all that. But go on there, find it, like it, share it. We need it to go. The whole goal is to make it go so viral that like essentially it makes it to Trump. That's what Deborah's office wants to do. And if you're on Instagram, find it, like it, share it. If you're on Facebook, same. I actually shared it on our Talk Dirt to Me page on Facebook. So please do that and help spread the word. Now, while you're on there spreading the word, we need you to do 3 things. The first thing we need you to do is go to talkdirtpodcast.com, go to the contact page, submit your questions. I actually told Bobby Lee I missed, we got quite a few emails. I told y'all last week we got them all. Now we got a lot still to go. So I apologize to people who have not heard your emails read yet. We've got quite a few. So do that. And what else do you need to do?
You'll go to agzaga.com. They're adding new stuff all the time. If you hadn't been to the website in a few months and you're thinking, oh, well, I need this or that, and I checked before and they didn't have it, check again. And every time they add something new, I'm like, man, I could use that. And so I end up making another order, which is great because you get free shipping every time. It's not like you need to, use that discount code TALKDIRT20. It's $20 off of that order, and you get free shipping, $50 minimum. But yeah, check them out. all the good things. If you're trying to finish up bale season and need some more net wrap, literally, if you need one roll of net wrap, they'll send you one. $20 off, free shipping. Do it. TalkDirt20 is that code.
Yep. What else do I need to do?
Go to tractormat.com. Discount code is just TalkDirt.
Yep. 15% off.
15% off your custom, fit mat to go in your combine. Your
Made
tractor.
in USA.
Yes, maybe the most important part. Good folks, and your tractor will look better and stay cleaner because of it.
It really is, man. It's an awesome mat. Like I said, I got it in my 5090.
Yeah.
And I love that little thing. So go on there, do that, guys. We can't stress enough. It helps us. Like if you are a fan of the show, and even if you don't even necessarily need something from Ag-Zaga that bad, or you're like, well, my mat's all right in my tractor, show your support for the show by going and doing this, because that shows sponsors and other people that like, hey, these guys are actually pretty valuable. So do that. And guys, we got some interesting stuff to talk about today. Before I get into the numbers, I got some numbers I want to share. And I got to tell you, Bobby Lee and his fellow cattlemen are about to join the world of hated welfare queen farmers, because y'all are about to be subsidized by the government, it sounds like.
And that's what, and I've been proud, because the kind of online community that I'm part of, and people that follow me, I follow them, whatever, on Instagram X. Everybody's against it. Has pretty much said, like, no, we don't want to be like the row crop guys and end up in a situation where we need this every year. Corbett put it like this. He's like, the reason they tell you not to feed the bears at Yellowstone isn't because they're afraid of you getting bitten by the bear. Like, they really don't care if the bear eats you or not.
Yeah.
Maybe they do a little bit, but that's not why they don't want you to feed them. They don't want you to feed the bears, because once you feed the bears,
then you got to keep feeding the bears.
Right. The bears can't survive on their own.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's kind of happened on row crop side. We just kept subsidizing, and we grew production, and went, over last several generations, we've grown to, if you're a row crop farmer, you're farming thousands of acres, and that's how it works. It's not always as simple as, the market being there and supply and demand. Like, no, we're going to artificially make it, profitable for you to farm.
Now, I want to say, what for people that are wondering, there's some people right now, they're like, but why? And I'll tell you why on the row crop side, and it's because, and you've got Corteva, Bayer, Syngenta, John Deere, Case, Agco, whoever all these people are in that side, they know when they see these prices or this payment's coming, they usually inflate their prices. And so that's the thing. Like if it were based solely off
it's naturally going to inflate everything. I mean, you're injecting artificial money into the ag economy. If
it was truly a free market thing from the get-go, then really their prices would fluctuate. But they never come down. I had that conversation today with a guy at Tennessee Tractor, and he was like, man, prices just keep going up. They don't come down. And I'm not hating on Tennessee Tractors. I'm not hating on Helena's or any of them. I think we've said this before, like, they're the middlemen. Like, they're at the mercy of the manufacturers. So that's the problem with these payments, is it has jacked all the other prices up so high that's how you become needy.
Well, in a true free market, right, the market determines how many acres of corn we're going to grow.
Yeah.
How many, bushels of soybeans we need every year. And it's all, a free market, which we don't have in hardly anything, because there's always a government, putting their finger on the scale here, there, and wherever they want to.
Yeah.
Really should be a perfect system. That if the demand's not there, then the price will, reflect that, and we'll grow fewer acres. We'll produce less of whatever the commodity may be. And we're just not there. And, so what they proposed, or I don't even know if it's been officially proposed, but they're going to subsidize retaining heifers.
Yeah. So
one of the ways they look at, like, our cow herd's gotten as small as it's ever been, and you keep looking at, are we retaining heifers? And so far, all the numbers suggest that we're not, as a whole. We're still, just feeding heifers, slaughtering them, just like we do our steers, and we always have to a certain extent. But I guess they expected over these last couple of years that we would all of a sudden see numbers have gotten so low that you're going to start to see a lot more heifers being kept back as replacements, and just haven't yet. And part of that is prices are so dang good. I mean, I was in this exact situation back in spring, because normally I keep a chunk of my heifers.
Yeah.
I actually kept less this year. Well, actually, I kept 0. Now I turned around and bought some bred cows because, I think definitely as those cows are now already calving for me, it's going to make more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the people are pointing out, the experts are saying, hey, this is not necessary. Like, the cattle guys are finally making some money.
I was going to say, now that the cattle markets are making money,
right,
it's like, let's stick our fingers in here.
Right. Well, another thing is, like, these guys are finally making some money. Let them make a little money, and pretty quickly, because at first, you're just like, holy shit, these heifers are worth a lot of money. I'm going to sell them. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot.
Then you got to buy more.
Well, but as we see, hopefully these markets stay really good, then, we're going to get a couple of years into this, and we're still making money, hopefully. And all of a sudden we're going to like, oh, wow, my cow herd is getting older, and I'm having to cull some open cows, whatnot. I'm going to have to start keeping some heifers. Yeah, these 600-pound heifers are worth $2,000. But I can keep her, get her bred back, and have her then selling a 600-pound weaned calf that's worth and hopefully she'll have 8, 10, maybe more calves over the course of her life.
Well, and I was going to say, again, as we talk about how wonderful the market itself is, without having any sort of government input in there, hell, if I'm a cattleman, then and the cattle are super high, like you said, it's great for selling. It sucks for buying. So, like, if I have some heifers and I'll sell some, hell, I'm going to keep some because I don't want to have to buy that many more, too. I would want to keep some especially if I'm trying to do, like, the cow-calf thing. I'm going to keep my heifers and kind of, I don't know, that's kind of my thoughts.
Yeah, and some of the ag economists, actually, Dr. Jerry Gresham, the late Dr. Jerry Gresham was an animal science professor when I was in school. He was always a big proponent of, don't keep your heifers and just buy bred cows.
Yeah.
Like say I'm going to have to cull, I'm a small herd. I'm going to cull 10 cows this year, and so I need 10 replacements to take their spot.
But cattle prices weren't like they were then, I'm assuming.
And even still, he would say, and I think I did pretty well, I sold a bunch of heifers. And, I think they brought right at like $1,500 a piece back in spring, which prices are even higher now.
Probably made $1,500 profit.
Yeah, that's straight profit. I didn't have any money tied up in getting them to 600 pounds. Well, then I turned around and I bought, it was actually 12 bred cows in one pair, but I paid about $2,300 a head on average for them.
Yeah.
And those cows are already dropping calves for me right here today.
Yeah.
And those calves are going to be worth, come spring, $1,500 to $2,000.
It's crazy.
And whereas if I had kept those heifers, they wouldn't have really been ready to breed until I could have probably bred them to calve this time next year.
No, I got you.
But they weren't going to be big enough to breed, this summer to calve next spring. And so I've literally, for $800, I spread that process up by a year.
Yeah.
And because it does cost money.
Yes.
That $800, I believe, is going to be well worth it. I mean, bottle calves at the sale barn are bringing $1,000, $1,200 a head.
See, that's crazy, man. That's wild to me.
Yeah, when I look at some of these calves that are already, I'm like, heck, I could turn around and sell that cull cow right now, and she's going to bring, depending on what they weigh, as much as those heifers did anyway. Plus, she's got that calf. Like, I've already got my money back right there if I just got out right now. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep them. And so, yeah, it's just the cattle market. Like, the cattle are the one thing that are doing great right now. Wow. What are you guys doing, USDA? Like, why do you look at this and say, oh, here we go, let's help this out? No, if anything, take that money or whatever, and maybe we want to shift that over to the row crop guys right now. We don't need them all going broke, and then feed prices going through the roof for us because 40% of farmers aren't farming next year.
Yeah, people think beef prices are high now. let's see what happens.
Well, and that's the thing. Corbett keeps talking about this market. It is a demand-driven market. It's not so much because the supplies are tight. I mean, I guess it's always both, but the demand for beef is still way up. The meat packers aren't. They've scaled back slaughter significantly. Like, they're not even trying to buy more cattle to slaughter.
Well, did you see?
And the supplies are a little bit offset because we're getting them so much bigger now. So we're getting more beef out of each carcass than we did just a few years ago.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I saw a thing. You talking about the demand for beef, and people, especially on the row crop side, we're getting blasted because people are like, "Well, you voted for this," as they keep saying to us on Trump. Well, you voted for Trump, so you got what you voted for. All right, and Bobby Lee and I both have argued. It's like, well, look, Trump right now is not really doing a whole lot that I would like to see him doing. Like, I am objective enough to say I have not been particularly pleased with his performance so far. Now, it's still just, we're like 7 months in.
On this one issue.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say, like,
I also point out I'm not a single issue voter.
That's right. And we've tried to tell people that, but they don't care. But it's also, we're like 7 months in. I mean, he's not even been in there a year. And we knew the trade war wasn't going to be won overnight. Yeah, and we knew it would be ugly. But people are like, well, I can't believe you vote for him. All right, let me tell you, as a cattleman, you would have been an idiot to vote for Kamala, because Kamala had openly stated that she wanted to reduce beef because of climate change. She wanted to reduce the amount of beef that was consumed to cut back on the climate and the damage to the environment.
There's been an attack on just meat consumption in general. It's not even just beef, that trying to villainize, like, which a lot of people point out, when it all comes down to it, you are the carbon they want to reduce.
Yeah.
It's and the whole carbon, that is such a hoax. You learn in like 4th grade biology or science that there's oxygen and carbon dioxide, and we breathe in oxygen, breathe off carbon dioxide.
Yep.
These wonderful things called plants do just the opposite. It's I believe what you would call a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
What our waste is their fuel, and vice versa.
Yep.
So, I mean,
they eat our shit.
Well, they really do. I mean, you fertilize.
So we eat their shit.
That's a circle of life. We all end up in the dirt one day, and we're worm food and fertilizing the ground. And
Chet, was it Chet? Wasn't that his name? He was right then.
I'm not getting the reference quite yet.
Oh man, I think wasn't it Weird Science? Bill that died. Oh man, the guy that was in Twister. Bill, what's his name? Bill frickin' Paxton.
Okay.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Did you ever see Weird Science? 80s movie.
No.
Oh man.
I guess that's why I didn't get the reference.
80s movie. Smoking hot chick, you see her naked at one point. I figured you'd have seen it.
I'll have to put that on my list of things to watch.
It's a good movie. But
I'll watch it for the science.
That's right. It's very scientific. But in there, Chet, I think it's that movie, he says, I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. And the guy says, you eat... No, that's Happy Gilmore. When Shooter McGavin, he says, I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. He goes, you eat pieces of shit for breakfast? And he's like, well, no, and runs off. And so that's what I'm thinking of. So we're basically eating shit.
Yeah.
That was the reference. Now, I know you've seen Happy Gilmore.
Oh, yeah. I watched the new one. It was okay.
It was okay. I was going to say, I wasn't, like, angry. I don't think it ruined the franchise, but...
It was way goofier than
all of Adam Sandler's new stuff is really over the top.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, none of his... I have honestly not enjoyed really any of his new stuff. It was a cameo craze. My God, all the cameos.
Yeah.
John Daly tripped me out in it.
Oh, yeah. I love John Daly.
Yeah, he was funny in there. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I knew you would... When I was actually listening to one of my news podcasts to listen to today, and they got talking about the cattle subsidies, and I was like... an evil laugh.
Y'all stay out of our markets because the fear is, our grandkids one day, if podcasting's still a thing, will be sitting here and talking about how they don't like the subsidies, but
We're going to have them, damn it.
because back in 2025 they started paying subsidies for people to keep heifers.
Yep.
And it just never stopped, and now it got to the point where it just
They're going to start paying such high subsidies that all of us row crop guys are going to just suddenly buy like tons of head of cattle, and then suddenly you're going to be the tables are going to turn, and we're going to be like, we got so many damn cattle, we can't get rid of all these things.
Yeah, why do we have so many cattle? We're not growing enough corn to feed them all.
Yep.
So yeah, just let the market figure out. Because I really feel like if we didn't do anything, you probably would start to see a lot of crop ground getting put back into cattle.
Probably. Which we talked about. It's not as easy as people say. Like, we've talked about the logistics, and we talked about the money.
You can't just say, I grow 1,000 acres of row crop.
I'm gonna do 1,000 acres of cattle.
Well, or even next year I'm gonna convert half that to a pasture ground, and and that way I'm gonna be a little more diversified. Well, it's tricky, especially when you rent a lot of ground, because
you got 50-acre fields, so it'd be 10 different fields.
Well, and it's you're going to need a long-term lease to make it worthwhile. And
I'm going to have to go to my landlords and say, hey, I'm going to have to lower the rent that I'm paying, because I can't pay.
Oh, yeah, pasture rent.
Can't pay row crop prices.
Yeah, pasture rent is a fraction of row crop rent. And so, I don't. Right, it sounds like all-time bad idea.
Yes.
I hope that we can get enough momentum behind it to where they're like, okay, there's been enough.
Well,
you feel like sometimes they'll leak out that information just to kind of
see what the reaction is.
Yeah, kind of test the waters and see what the response is going to be to it. And they might say, well, that was just a rumor. We weren't really ever planning on doing that at all.
Well, it was funny. The podcast, the show I was listening to, is a row crop show, which they always give cattle prices and stuff at the end. And they were like, he asked his co-host, he was like, what do you think about this? And she's a girl, and she goes, I think this sounds like a terrible idea. And he was like, yeah. And he said, it seems that cattlemen across the country also think this is a terrible idea.
Oh, yeah. I have seen nobody that have been like, oh, hell yeah, this will make me keep. Because I'm already looking at my heifers, right now that are still on their mama's side that William weaned here for long. And I'm already, saying, yeah, I'm going to keep her and her and her. And when I say keep them, I might not even actually keep them, but I'm going to, like, she's too nice. She needs to be a replacement. Even if I don't have room for her in my herd, I'll either cull, some older cows to make room for her, or I may, have 12, 15 heifers that I get bred and then sell as bred heifers.
Yep.
Which are bringing incredible money right now. Everything in cattle side of things is bringing great money. Even the jump is bringing great money. But anyway, we don't want the subsidy.
Yeah.
And if it happens and people will be like, well, if they offer it and it's out there and people are taking it, you're damn right. I will sign up for it and I will get whatever I can out of it. Because if that's the game they make you play, you have to play it. You can, out of, just
pride. You can be that guy that's like, I ain't never took $1 of money from the government, and puff your chest out, and people can pat you on the back, and then you go home and what difference does it make?
Well, and again, it's going to inflate everything else, and you're going to have to. You're not going to get a break on your other inputs.
Yeah.
Because
you don't go in the store and say, hey, I didn't get that money.
I didn't take the subsidy, so I don't need to pay as much as the whatever.
Maybe they ought to do that.
And so I look at it, because my main income is off farm.
Yeah.
I pay. The taxes just. It makes me want to vomit. So what little bit of subsidy I would get back doesn't even offset what I'm already paying in. So that's not the way the game should be set up, and that's probably not the way you should look at it. But that's the way I look at it. Like, I'm just trying to get back a little bit of what they already stole from me.
Yep. Yeah. Nah. Well.
But yeah, I'd rather just not have it. Nobody get it. Leave us on an even playing field. Things are going really well right now without you guys sticking your nose in our business. Stay out of it.
We're from the government, and we're here to help.
Yeah, was that 7 most dangerous words?
Yeah.
I'm from the government, I'm here to help.
Didn't Reagan say that?
I believe so. I don't know, maybe more than 7 words, but the 2 words at the end of the show.
Yeah, but we learned Bobby Lee's math is actually not very good.
Yeah, what was that when we were doing we were calculating the years since MLK and
Yes.
and JFK's assassinations. Yeah, I was off by a decade. But
Yeah, I was gonna say about 10 years, but hey, oh well.
doing math off the top of your head, while you're recording live is dangerous.
It is. Well, that's what so speaking of the subsidies, I wanted to break this down. So as I said, we got a lot of farmers that listen. I have been kind of plugged into the political field right now, trying to help get some help for us, because unfortunately, we are a prime example. We are at the mercy of this at this point. And so I've been kind of plugged in. There is going to be some funding coming, and they're going to try to do it, I think, fairly quickly. Brooke Rollins spoke about it. I saw today. She spoke about it today, I believe. But I talked to somebody at Farm Bureau, and I told them, I said, here's the problem, and my fear is that we're going to get a payment. I have no doubt, but it's going to be a fraction of what we actually need.
Yeah.
And that's the bad thing, is because, man, most guys have compounding debt, meaning we had debt from 2024, and now we're racking up debt in 2025. And so the pile of debt, or the hole that we're digging, is a hell of a lot deeper now than it was last year. And so I told this guy today I was talking to, I said, man, to be honest with you, the number that I'm hearing, I've talked to quite a few people now, the number is around $150 to $200 an acre. It's probably what guys legitimately need. And I would say for our cotton guys, they probably need more like $300 an acre, if not more than that. And that's still got a lot of them at a loss. Even at $200 an acre for corn, that Delta Panel Group, when they ran the stuff, corn was losing $250 an acre. So even at $200 an acre on corn, you're still in the red. But so I ran some numbers, because I got to thinking about this today. I was like, all right, let's say they did a $200 an acre payment, and I did active cropland used for row crops like small grains, cotton, rice, corn, soybeans, wheat, our main commodities. That's 328 million acres. So that'd be $65.6 billion. That's a pretty hefty chunk of change. How much do you think the entire, now this, we don't even have a farm bill still, but the 2023 farm bill, how much do you think they had in there allocated for commodity programs?
Oh, so that was going to be $65 billion.
Yeah.
Oh, $10 billion.
You're not terribly far off, about $6 billion.
Yeah. So we need 10 times that.
How much do you think they had in there for food stamps?
So they had $6 billion in there for
farming, for commodity programs.
For food stamps. Oh, I bet it was at least 10 times that.
You're pretty damn close. $100 billion.
Good
a
Lord.
Year. $100 billion. And look, guys, I'm not against somebody getting help if they need help. I'm against people, like we said, that abuse it. Just like I'm against farmers that abuse the programs. That's why honestly, guys, abusing the program is why people shit on us so hard.
I would point out is the farmers. Again, you got some guys that maybe they're just farming totally for the payment, but for the most part, these are farmers that are busting their ass trying. And
we are at least offering something.
And there are people getting food stamps that I'm sure they are trying. They are working a job. It's just not enough.
Yeah.
But obviously, you always, the ones you think about are the people that aren't even trying to get a job.
Yeah, they're on welfare and food stamps.
Right, they got government housing. Right, they've looked.
Got their Obama phone.
Right, they're professional welfare recipients. That's all they aspire to ever do.
They work for the government.
And that would be what I would point out. Is I would say 95+% of farmers, no, they are busting their ass trying, because food stamps by all means. The single, teenage mom that, just trying, but you would hope, because we all know stories of people like that, they come out of it, by the time they're I mean, I know them, they're my age now, and they're like, yeah, we started out, it was rough.
Yep.
But
seeing
did well for themselves and got pulled themselves up and by the bootstraps, and now they're middle class people.
See, Conor McGregor, now he's Irish, but Ireland has like a food stamp program. Conor McGregor was on food stamps when he started fighting, and he was training. I don't know what he was doing work wise, but anyways, he was on food stamps. Now Conor damn sure ain't on food stamps no more because he's worth like $500 million.
Well, Ben Carson, former presidential candidate. I mean, they talk about how he grew up like absolutely dirt poor.
Yeah.
I mean, guy's a brain surgeon.
He's done pretty good now. You can get out of that, is what we're getting at.
And even like, the whole thing with food stamps, we feel like there's so many people that don't even want to try.
Yeah.
They're like, why should I? Well, they're like the bears at Yellowstone. Once you start feeding them, they have no incentive to do it on their own.
See, but that was just wild to me. Yeah, the farmers, out of the farm bill, the farmers get $6 to $7 billion for commodity programs. Now, crop insurance is subsidized. That's $10 to $12 billion. But SNAP gets over $100 billion a year. I mean, that's wild. Now, all right, so then I got to thinking, I'm like, okay, how much since the Russian invasion of Ukraine has the U.S. committed to Ukraine? And that's about $182.8 billion. And the one that's really chapped a lot.
So we've given 3 times as much to Ukraine as we need to help farmers out, right?
Yeah. And then a new one that's chapping guys' ass is what they're doing with Argentina. Have you seen this?
I saw just a hint of what it was, but I don't. Now tell me.
It's called it's a swap line / financial support package because they're facing an economic crisis and they're trying to help avoid their economy collapsing. So they're essentially injecting $20 billion into the Argentina economy.
So the U.S. is.
Yes.
And say, I mean, I'm sure they've got the reasons, and like,
they claim it's national security.
Right. If their economy collapses, that'll,
start a chain reaction. Yeah.
But you also wonder, you're like, okay, so by us, inflating their economy, artificially, like, is that gonna kickstart their economy back up to where it's gonna be healthy, for the next 20, 30, 100 years?
I'll tell you what.
Or is it just gonna be a Band-Aid where then they're gonna have to have that handout to get more next year and the year after?
Well, I'll tell you something that's funny about this and why a lot of the row crop guys are really pissed is because Argentina is one of our competitors in the global market of soybeans. And China has bought 0 soybean bushels from the United States. And Argentina just waived their export taxes for I don't know how long. But the moment they waived them, China bought 20 cargo loads of soybeans from Argentina. So people are like, so not only are we pumping funds into Argentina, but Argentina is selling to the customer that we need to be selling to. And so they're like, we're basically slitting our own throat.
Yeah, we're helping out. Yeah, our competitor is struggling while we are too. And instead of us helping ourselves, we're going to help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's why, all right, $66 billion. That's a lot of money.
And obviously, this whole thing is so complex. But it's just, man, if we could have ever gone back and started over and never had the government get involved in any of it, would we be better off? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't say because there's so many variables in play. And I understand to an extent why, because I used to have this conversation with my dad, because back 30 years or so ago, it was always cotton that was heavily subsidized.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, why do we do that? Like, if it doesn't make sense to grow cotton here, why do we grow cotton here? And his thing was always, well, it's a national security thing. Like, we have to be able to produce textiles. Like, like if we can't do that and we rely on somebody else somewhere else to do it for us, we're at their mercy. We don't want to totally give up our ability to clothe ourselves.
Yep.
and obviously cotton is used for more than just clothing, and so because food security is always going to be directly tied to national security. I'm just
the government ain't gonna get out of it.
Well, and I'm not that smart to know, or predict. I don't know that anybody is. Like, if there was an alternate universe where government had never gotten involved, would things be better off right now than they are for us?
It's hard to say.
I don't know. I think we do live in a pretty awesome time. Like,
yeah.
I mean, really, really hard on row crop guys right now, but hell, we live in the best country in the world.
Yeah.
Life expectancy has never been longer.
We got the hottest women.
Literacy, rates have never been high. Like, a lot of people try to make things be like, I don't know. I think we got it pretty damn good. Again, is there that parallel universe where things are even that much better because they kept government from ever getting involved? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
Well, here's the next chapter on here. So the tariffs, because Brooke Rollins and some of the others have been saying we could use the funds made through the tariffs to pay the farmers. I
have seen that. Right. So then it's not even taking money.
So then all the taxpayers that are bitching can shut the hell up.
Well, except then they would argue, well,
we're paying the tariffs just down the chain.
Right. Well, there's
some validity to it.
Well, and for a lot of that, you have a choice whether or not you pay that tariff. Like, you're only paying that tariff if you're buying those goods, and maybe that is a good that you can't live without.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't even know what. I guess all the goods that are imported have been affected by it. But I mean, you can buy made in USA and not have to worry about it. Or, I mean, do you really need that? Whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe you do.
Well, this was pretty wild. Since January, how much money do you think they've made off of tariffs?
No idea.
$122 billion.
So give half that to the farmers.
We're making right now, this says some reports show that under new tariffs, they're making around $25 to $30 billion a month off tariffs.
To me, that makes perfect sense because, I mean, I look at it, and maybe it's not this simple, but okay, the tariffs have crushed the farmers because China won't buy from us because of the trade war. And so, well, okay, we're just going to offset the damage that we've done to the farmers with the tariffs.
Yep.
Like, okay,
that's how
problem solution right there. Boom. I'm sure it's probably not that, black and white, that simple, but man, that immediate right there, it's like, hell, give everybody $400 an acre.
Yeah.
Because that's twice what we need.
Well,
which I know there are other industries affected by the tariffs, not just farmers.
Yeah.
But
well, see, so the guy I talked to today, I asked him, I said, man, what is the hang up on the support for farmers?
And of course, part of me is like, well, where is that $120 billion? Is it just sitting in an account somewhere, like us deciding what to do?
I don't know. Some of the courts, there's a couple of courts now that it said are trying to challenge Trump's tariffs, and they're trying to say they're unconstitutional. And it says if those pass, then the government has to pay back the tariffs
to all those countries.
Yeah,
that would,
be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, if anything, they'd be like, okay, we shouldn't be doing this anymore, but we're not paying it back.
Yeah,
like now.
Yeah,
because again, the people buying the goods are really the ones who paid the tariff anyway.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're going to send
a refund check to all the people. Yeah. I doubt that. But
I don't know.
But the dude that I talked to today, I asked him, I said, man, what is the hang up on the support for farmers? I said, is it just Democrats? They just are mad because farmers voted for Trump largely. And he said, you do have some of that. He said, man, it's both sides. He said, because you've got Republican politicians that don't have farmer constituents. They're not in an ag state. And he said, so to be honest with you, they don't know. He said they're just kind of so far removed from agriculture that in their mind it's like, well, why do we need to give these guys any more money? And he said none of their constituents are farmers. Their state doesn't generate agriculture money and this and that. Although every state, and me and him talked about this, everybody benefits from having American agriculture here, but he said that was one of the problems they're running into. He said you got guys that are people are too far removed from ag.
Yeah, well, that's kind of been a theme we talk about all the time. Yeah, it's so few of us are actually directly on the farm. Yeah, and that's been my whole thing is why Trump, it may not be a bigger issue, and I know Trump's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
But, and the farmers have always been in his corner for the most part. But we're such a tiny percentage of his constituency. Right. Unless it's, affecting the country as a whole, which we've laid out how it will eventually.
Yeah.
It's not as pressing as him, dealing with, Russia and Ukraine not behaving, the Middle East not behaving, what was it, a smirk I have on my face when I say that?
Actually, and he wrote in. I got an email from him.
I smirked a little bit. Yes, I'm talking to all you guys in the Middle East. Y'all behave. And obviously all the civil unrest in the country. We got crazy ass, transgender people wanting to shoot all the damn people up.
Yep.
Whatever. 1% of the population, going broke, growing corn and soybeans and cotton is not going to be the first thing on Trump's desk every morning when he walks in the Oval Office. I mean, it's not.
And that's why we're trying to push these videos and stuff so that they get so viral and they grow so big that, because Trump.
I just liked your video.
Well, Trump's on Twitter.
No, I liked it on YouTube.
Okay, I put it on Twitter.
Okay,
I don't ever do anything on Twitter.
Well, I will retweet it.
Yeah, that's because I
yeah, you're never on there.
No, because I saw you had sent me a message 2 months ago.
Well, I rarely, I don't even know. Used to you called it tweeting. I rarely Xing anymore.
That just sounds pornographic.
I rarely post on X.
Yeah,
I don't get to do much Xing either as most married men. Not as much as I would like.
The X thing just still feels weird because it just sounds like a porn site. And if I'm I was on the X the otter day, it's just got a very, like I said, kind of porn sound to it.
Well, I think they said it was because, he wanted to rebrand it because he bought it, because X marks the spot, X is the or something like that. Went back to his early days.
Digging for treasure. All right, Dan writes in. Sorry, Dan, this was back in August. Dan writes in, Dear Bobby Lee and Logan, I seem to be unable to keep up with podcasts and write comments in time for you to look at them. Sorry, I can't help you with your algorithm as often as I'd like. You don't have to read this on the air in full or at all if you get emails with a sense of humor. Sorry, I'm going to read this, Dan. Possibly episode 197. Man, I don't remember. I have to think back. All right. I remember I sent you a link to a video. Oh, yeah. I sent you a link to a video that you had to sign up for to look at. Well, if I didn't write before, it's on YouTube. Search in YouTube for Facts Matter with Roman Balmakov. Click on videos. Thumbnail for the video is Beef Spikes. The title of the video is... Okay, that's a lot of... Let me skip on down here, Dan. All right, episode 198. Oh, he was just telling me about the Epoch Times conservative network. He says it's actually non-Jewish. Episode 198, so you'll like it, Bobby Lee. Episode 198, he said, swearing, no little kids here, much better than other channels, and a selling point for you. Well, we've gotten a little raunchy, probably. We've dropped a few F-bombs over the last ones. I was actually watching that video that you had sent me that one of our listeners had sent you, one of our neighbors, where I said, F you to all the people.
Yeah.
I was standing in my kitchen, and my kids were in bed, but Marcy was, fixing her lunch. She had to work the next day, and she goes, who was that? And I said, that was me. And she goes, Logan Hank. She was like, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I was like, nah.
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to my buddy Cody. I don't know what he was doing. He was on a tractor after dark. I don't know if he was running a grain cart because they're in the middle of harvest, or if maybe they were getting some ground ready to plant some wheat. I don't know what he was doing. But he had the podcast playing. It was where you said something like, for those of y'all, hate other farmers, a big F you. He had a video of him listening to that as he was in the tractor late that night.
Yeah, I told her, I was like, I'm not apologizing for that.
We're uncensored here.
We are. Hey, look,
we got the explicit rating.
I am a confident man in my faith, and I can say a cuss word, and it doesn't challenge my Christian faith.
Well,
so
where and how you say it matters. I always say, like, if you're walking up and down the aisle to the grocery store, throwing F-bombs around with little old ladies. And
it's like, where the hell are these effing grapes?
Women and children around you. Okay, that is inappropriate.
Yeah.
If you're sitting here having a conversation intended for adults,
like you said, it's got the explicit rating.
Yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah. So he said episode 198, no little kids here, much better than other channels, and a selling point for you. Of course, I went over to Griggs Farm after you recommended it. Solid folks. They're good ones to check out. It's a selling point for him that he talks the way all adults used to talk, with euphemisms, heck, shoot, danged, etc. Thank you for being men of faith in this world today. Appreciate that, Dan. All right. Man, he's got a lot on there. Episode 199.
Hey, another one we didn't shout out when we were talking about YouTube channels was the Veggie Boys.
That's right.
I was like, heck, I've watched them all the time.
I have watched a lot of theirs. They're good. My kids watch theirs.
That's what I was about to say. They are very kid-friendly.
Yep.
Which, like my YouTube, I keep it kid-friendly.
Pornographic.
Too.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you never know. There might be some nudity on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, Bobby Lee's you got to watch his channel now. He's a little notorious for.
But the kids, they do a really good job with that. I was Matt and I were messaging back and forth the other day. Yeah, another good one.
Yeah,
but anyway.
they are. All right, so here you go. Episode 199, and he says, you read an email on air from, I believe, Cody, asking you about starting a podcast. Will he tell us the name of the podcast so we can all check it out? That's actually a good point. Cody that wrote that in, if you've started the podcast that you asked about, tell us the name of it. Write in, because we'll give you a shout out.
Yeah.
Hey, man. We're not afraid to do that. He said here, what do you guys think of Farm Progress? I guess you're talking about the magazine and all that. I like it. I get the magazine. I read it.
Yeah, the problem with a lot of those, like Farm Journal, they're all owned by the big corporate side of things.
Oh, yeah.
They push the agenda that I think oftentimes is not necessarily in the best interest of ag. I'm not sure who Farm Progress is owned by.
I don't remember.
I'll put that in your little your
Terminator. Yeah, I mean, I read them. It's just an ag publication. It's kind of like Beef Magazine. You got to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Beef Magazine, definitely. They're corporate.
Which I don't even get those no more. I do get Working Ranch. You read those? They're pretty cool.
They're owned by Informa, who, full disclosure, my wife worked for them at one time.
Okay, there you go.
That's a big corp. I don't know. I'm not knowledgeable enough on, what they're. But that's the thing about the big corporate controlled media. Like, Beef Magazine is controlled by, the powers that be. Yep. And it's, you got to take it all with a grain of salt.
Yes. All right, he says, Maha's decision to cut out corn syrup and soybean oil. Does the government or any other organization have ideas of what you're supposed to grow instead of corn and soybeans? Have you asked older people what they did before the mid-'70s when corn syrup began, or was everyone on a diversified 200-acre farm as you described? If it makes you feel better, my mom had a corn allergy, and I have allergies to soy and wheat, so we wouldn't have been such good customers. Man, I've never asked anybody, to be honest with you. I mean, I know back in the old days, a lot of them just didn't give a shit. They'd eat. I mean, we had our great grandmother. If you mention health to like either one of our fathers, you're going to hear, well, Mama Brown her blood pressure was 500 over 300 and she lived to be 97 or something, she was diabetic for 75 years, and so she smoked cigarettes every hour. She was apparently like the most unhealthy human on the planet.
Yeah, that's what I said. She lived to be 94.
Yeah, it's like, damn. And I always am like, when Dad says that, I'm like, well, damn, imagine if she took care of herself. She might still be alive today. Yeah. She'd be 130 or whatever. So I've never asked them, Dan, to be honest with you.
And I had heard something, and you may have different numbers, but when the corn syrup attack started, that basically the gist of the conversation was that's not going to really have a huge impact on corn. Yes, corn syrup comes from corn, but if all of a sudden there was zero corn syrup being used, it's not a major factor, in the end use of corn.
Yeah.
Compared to everything else, the ethanol, the animal feed, and
the ethanol is really the one guys really are wanting to see, that E15 or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, and does the government or any other organization have ideas of what you're supposed to grow instead of corn and soybeans? I don't think so. I mean, canola is kind of moving in our area a little bit, but it's a one buyer.
And what do they do with the canola?
I think it's mostly for feed, ain't it?
I mean, I know there's canola oil, which, I mean, there's been an attack on that from all the Maha people, like getting away from seed oils in general.
Did you eat a bologna sandwich today?
Yeah, because I just burped.
You've burped like 4 times. It smells like a damn bologna sandwich every time.
I hadn't eaten bologna, and I couldn't tell you how long. My bad.
Yeah, I'm like,
poor etiquette.
I don't even singes the nostrils.
I don't even realize I'm doing it.
No, I don't know, man. All right, let's see here. Dan, he said, comment on episode 199. Have you considered asking Doug? Let's see. All right, comments on it. He laughs. Such an informative comment. All right, Dan said, I voted for Trump too. Thanks for being yourselves. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it, Dan, our Jewish friend.
So this is just from ChatGPT. It says canola is grown primarily for its seeds, of course, which are used to produce canola oil, which is used in all the ways you would think of cooking and food products due to its low saturated fat content. Additionally, canola meal, which as a byproduct of the oil extraction, is a high protein animal feed.
Yep.
So not that different than corn. You make ethanol, you get the DDGs that are used for animal feed. So I guess they feel like canola oil is not going anywhere in terms of as a food product for human consumption. If there's, that's been my whole thing, because apparently there's going to be more canola grown even in our area, which I've never seen it right here.
Yeah, it's been here for about 2 years.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, but
it's small scale. There's only one buyer, and they actually want to get it up. Right now, it's like a few 100,000 acres. They want like 4 or 5 million acres of canola. So, but again,
but that buyer is in this area now.
Yes, it's ADM. Yeah, for people that are, if you're listening and you're kind of close, you got an ADM buyer and you're looking for diversity, check out canola. I got some friends that have grown it. I'm gonna probably consider looking into it for next year. I
know some people that have never grown it that are going to grow it next year.
Yeah. Now be careful, because again, you got one buyer, and that's a dangerous game.
So you need it contracted before you ever put it in the ground.
But if something happened to that one buyer, then what do you do? Like that's the dangerous part of canola. And I mean, I think maybe as it continues to gain steam, you'll probably have some other buyers step in, and then it'll get better. But
so it's also used in industrial applications, including biodiesel production, lubricants, and cosmetic products.
There you go. Yeah. Well, one of my buddies said that they made significant profit on canola versus like wheat.
So I know you plant it in the fall, much like wheat. When do you harvest it?
Oh gosh, man! I was driving around seeing the yellow heads. Probably, I don't know, is it like June, July? Probably almost maybe about the same as wheat.
So will you be double cropping beans behind it?
Well, maybe it's a longer season. Shit, I don't know. I don't know hardly anything about canola. But I know they're planting it. Some guys are planting it like they're probably planting it like now. You plant it on like 7.5-inch spacing, I believe, because Dad has that old Great Plains drill, and you could drill it with that. I think some people might even like sow it, like very similar to wheat, but I think it's a whole lot cheaper on the inputs versus wheat. And I don't know up on the.
Well, and again, ChatGPT is not perfect. It says it's generally harvested in late summer to early fall, which would obviously mean you're not double cropping behind it. But then it says it's usually ready to harvest in 90 to 120 days. I'm like, well, if that's true, and we're planting it,
well, then you could double crop canola.
Yeah, but I don't know. I know nothing. Absolutely.
Because then it'd be ready if they planted it September. Hell, how would that work? Because you'd be harvesting that in December or something.
Yeah, that's not true. I mean, that can't be. Not
now. Dad said,
but of course, wheat is different. Like the wheat we grow, the soft red winter wheat. We plant it like November usually and harvest it May and June. And then almost everybody then double crops beans behind it.
Yep.
But you know, some parts of the country they grow, you know, hard red wheat or whatever, and they're, you know, they don't double crop it.
I've been talking to a Brazilian farmer. Had a Brazilian guy reach out. I had shared a meme about the U.S. invading Brazil to stop them, and he responded and was like, "Hey, come on, man, we're your friends here." Like, and we've been talking back and forth. You know, they double crop soybeans. They're planting. I think they're about to start planting right now.
Yeah, well, when they're right there on the equator, yeah.
Well, I think I might talk. I'd actually be kind of intrigued to hear, like, maybe get him on the show.
Can you speak Portuguese?
It was funny. He sent me some video, and he had to like translate what they were saying because it was all in whatever language, and I'm like, man, and so he sent like what it was saying.
Actually, we had one of our former guests I was talking to the other day, and he was talking. I believe it was a Brazilian. Like he was doing a
Brazilian.
Yeah. He's happily married to an American woman. So
okay.
I'm gonna no. He was doing some kind of presentation or whatever, and he had to have a translator. And like, whoa, dude, you got to slow down.
Really?
Because he was talking about it, and the whole time I was like, you son of a bitch! Like I hope you're trying to sabotage.
Yeah, he's like, you need to tell them like we have purposely told them the wrong things.
He may have even been talking to him more about rice. But anyway.
Yeah, you better not be helping them out now.
As he was saying this, I said, whoa, dude. Like,
we've already shot ourselves in the foot there.
Yeah, we need to, we one of our biggest problems is we taught them everything they know about farming.
We need to tell them they need to continuously spray paraquat over the top, like to really help on weed control. All right, Cody writes in, we got enough time. He said, I was watching a clip from this podcast yesterday, and the guys were talking about baling their corn stalks after harvest. One guy said it was a good idea to make some extra money. The other said it wasn't worth it because the corn stalks put nutrients back into your soil.
Yeah, that is something to consider. Yeah,
he said, I was just curious your thoughts on it, if it would be worth y'all working together to generate some extra revenue. I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't do it because I love one of the things I love about corn is the next year I don't fertilize behind corn. And if I do beans behind
like around here, let's say you roll 1,000 bales of corn stalks. What are you gonna do with them?
Yeah.
I mean, around here nobody's gonna buy them. I mean, we're not gonna be that short on hay this year.
Yep.
Nobody around here has ever. I actually did see some the other day. It's the first time I've ever seen it here was some corn stalks that had been baled.
Really?
I'm trying to even remember where I was.
Wow.
We went to Jackson this past weekend for baseball. It may have been somewhere
Mississippi?
between here and there. No, Jackson, Tennessee.
Oh.
But it was like, I was like, wow. I briefly thought about it 2 or 3 years ago when we got so dry, and I was like, I'm gonna be short on hay. But I don't think just feeding straight corn stalks is a great cattle feed. What's better is if you got your cornfields fenced and you just turn the cows in there to graze.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're not eating every bit of it, and then what they are eating, it's going right through them. You get, the manure right back. But I have heard people say that, in places where that's a little more common, you think, well, say a cattleman in your area is like, if I can roll your corn stalks, I'll give you $10 a bale, $5 a bale, or whatever for every one I pull off. And you think, well, that's just free money.
Yeah.
It's not costing me anything, but it is. It's costing you because that residue does provide nutrients to the soil that you're now taking away.
And beans behind corn are usually pretty bad to the bone. Like that's what Dad and I have always, and a lot of times you can not fertilize. Like there's been several times, actually most of the time when I grow beans behind my corn, I don't fertilize it. Yeah. And you think about like
still grow 120 bushel beans.
Yeah, that's on a bad year, Yeah. But no, they usually do really well. And so, which beans do really well behind cotton too. But so here you go. All right, we're going to jump. We got a couple of comments, and then we'll wrap this up. On Spotify, somebody guessed right. They said your name was Butt Effer. Yeah, Butt. Now they said Butt Effer 2000. It was 3000.
Yeah. I felt like such an idiot. I was like, I should have known from the beginning that it was you, but you had a good poker face.
Dude, I had people text me and they were like, how did Bobby Lee not know that it was you?
Because I'm an idiot. Like, I felt like shit, and I apologize for anybody listening last week. Because I don't know if I was any good or not, but I was like, man, I just didn't. I wasn't feeling it.
Well, that's why somebody cut you some slack. They were like, well, he probably didn't catch on because he was sickly. And I'm like, probably.
I listened back to it, man, I coughed. I was like, I apologize for all that. I'm still not 100%. I wake up every morning, this morning included, and I cough. For about the first 30 minutes I'm awake, I cough up some stuff that should not be coming out of.
Well, that was me a while back. I'm good now.
I've been a little bit, I'd say I'm about 90% now. I'm just about back.
There you go. Well, this guy writes here, he says, hey guys, love the show. Traveling from Maryland to Arkansas this weekend for the South Pole Cattle Association annual meeting. My travels brought me through West Tennessee and thought of you guys. God bless. Appreciate that, man. We always appreciate these.
You were right here in God's country. Where was that meeting, did he say?
Let me see. He said he said traveling from Maryland to Arkansas.
I wonder if old Greg Judy was there.
I don't know.
He's a big South Pole guy.
Gotcha.
He's is there YouTube, the Regenerative Rancher? He's a pretty good, pretty interesting guy. But they're big into South Pole cattle.
Gotcha. All right, so we got Matt here. He writes, he says, I'm Central Oklahoman and run stockers on triticale. Typically, you can run around 500 pounds per acre in the fall and winter and around 1,000 pounds to graze out. It varies depending on how the crop does. The good thing is the average gain is around 2 to 5 pounds a day. They typically do around 3 pounds per day gain versus grass, where I typically get a 1 pound to 1.5 pound per day gain. I had some do 1.8 2 years ago, but I was supplementing feed the last 30 days. So, yeah,
that's pretty damn good.
On the triticale?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Cody writes, Bobby Lee saying 2025 minus 1968 is 47 when it's 57, then bragging I'm a doctor, I'm good at math. There must be some doped up dogs leaving the clinic.
A lot of them leave doped up, but I can assure you I'm really good at the math that I have to do every day, which I should have known. I'm 42 and I was born in 83. And that
I know, after they pointed that out, I'm like, how did we not like catch that?
When you're saying stuff in the moment, you don't even realize how often you misspeak. I was editing one of my YouTube videos earlier today, and I said something that was just completely wrong. I was talking about getting done with the first cutting of hay. I was like, well, no, this is clearly the last cutting. But I just, in the moment when I said it, I didn't even realize it. But when I was editing, I was like, yeah, it's completely wrong.
Well, the video that I made for YouTube and social media for the farm stuff, I had to clip out. Like, if you watch it, you'll notice I'm like, hey, I'm Logan Hanks, 34 row crop. And then I go, and this is a heritage for me, this is not just a career for me, this is my heritage. Well, I had in there originally because I shot several takes trying to get it right. And I was like, my family has been farming since the 1600s. So this is not just a career, this is a heritage. Well, that take that I posted was the one I liked the most. Like an idiot, when I was editing it, I get in there and I say who I am, and I say my family has been farming for 1,600 years. And so I told Marcy, I was like, so basically I was almost like, my family has been farmers since Jesus was here. And so I had to
that might be true.
It might be. Hey, it may be if you traced us back far enough, but I was like, dang it. So I had to delete that. But, all right, we'll get just a couple more real quick. Enjoy your podcast. This is Garrett. He said, enjoy your podcast episodes. We appreciate and respect farmers, and I think we need more of them. I myself hope to get into farming directly and transition full-time when I near retirement. Would prefer to get involved with livestock on the side in the near future. I currently work for an agriculture supplier, but am first generation detached from the family farm established in 1886 in Carroll County, Missouri. I migrated to Platte County, Missouri for job opportunities in the KC Metro. Any advice for the aspiring? Man, that's Bobby Lee's more the cattle guy. I'll let you have that one.
So what was the exact question?
He says he's
Moving to the KC area.
Yeah, and he would prefer to get involved with livestock on the side in the near future. He currently works for an ag supplier, but he is first generation detached from the family farm.
Well, you need some ground. I mean, that's the biggest limiting factor to everybody pretty much getting in. If you're working for an ag supplier, you're already, going to be a little bit tied in with that community. Maybe find somebody in that area, that one of these old guys that have seen the prices higher than they could have ever imagined and have said, you know what, I'm getting out. They're selling out of the cattle business, so there's some pasture ground available for rent, or if you're in a position to buy some ground, good Lord, things are, the ag economy sucking hind tit has not affected land prices yet.
No, not yet.
So buying, substantial amount of ground to graze some animals, maybe a little tougher. If you could stumble across some pasture ground to kind of get started, and, I always say one of the easiest ways to get in initially and, kind of have some immediate cash flow is buying some calves.
Cocaine. Sell cocaine. That's how to get your immediate cash flow.
Yes.
Cut it with, baking soda or baking powder?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Either one, you just cut it with that. See, that's what Tim Allen was doing.
Okay, I remember he had gotten in some trouble before he made it big.
Yep. Yeah, Tim Allen was a cocaine cowboy, and I don't think he was doing cocaine, but he was selling, and they would cut it with like baking soda, and so they could double how much they could sell.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you can cut it and to where it like loses all potency and then you lose your customer base, but
yeah, I don't know.
You could cut it just a little bit, stretch it a little further, but if you say you come across 100 acres of good pasture ground, and get you a loan to buy you a truckload of calves to dump out there in the spring, and make sure you got good fences and a good health program, and graze them all spring, summer, and into the fall, and then sell them. That way you get some immediate cash for that first year. Or if you're more interested in the cow-calf thing, again, it's a tough time to get in just because you're going to pay a lot of money for any bred cows.
Yeah.
But if you're in it more for the long haul, and then acquiring some ground. We always go back to if you don't have big acreage available, but you got 5-10 acres, you got some basic facilities, I go to the local sale barn and buy you 8 or 10 800-pound steers and put them on feed.
Yeah.
Feed them out just for you got them basically in confinement. That's about the easiest way to get in if you don't have the acreage to run real numbers out on grass. Good luck to you. Let us know how it goes for sure.
Absolutely. All right, last one. Jack writes in, maybe these haters, because this was a few weeks ago, maybe these haters got confused about the name of the show. It's called Talk Dirt to Me, not Talk Shit to Me. It's true. He said, are y'all still going to have the members only bonus episodes? We have kicked it around, starting like a Patreon.
We have so much free time
yes.
that we've decided we'll just quit sleeping entirely.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
It would, if we got enough, like, if people seriously were like, man, we really want y'all to do this, we'd carve it out. We'd figure out a way to make it work. But
my time right now, I mean, it's my kids. I mean, kids are a blessing. And everybody points out, like, hey, enjoy it while you got it, because it won't last forever. And I remind myself, my daughter's 11. Heck, I mean, another 7 years, she's going to be out of the house, theoretically. My son not going to be far behind her. But it's, man, right now, that's one reason I wanted to record this afternoon, which it's now 6:30. Just because, like, even when we record late at night, I'm like, well, shit, then I just don't get any sleep that night.
Yep.
It's, time. Time is the most valuable thing any of us have. And
it's
every
fleeting.
passing year, that is just compounded even more.
Yep.
I don't know what I'll do when my kids are out of the house. Like, I don't have ball practice 2 to 3 nights a week and a ball tournament to be at.
I don't know what you'll do then either.
A horse show to be at. Like, I'd like to think I'm going to sit on my back patio, because we just did like an outdoor kitchen area.
Yep.
Have football on the TV. Have a cold beverage in my hand, maybe a cigar in my mouth. couple
Your
of
woman naked over there.
a couple of nice ribeyes on the grill, and just sit there every evening and just say, "Bam, this is living."
Yeah, living. Livin.
Yeah.
All right. I got to get this thing queued up here. I was about to mess up. Let me find
You going
it.
for our man?
Yeah.
Well, one other thing I was going to hit on, just a recent news story, which probably everybody's heard of it if you're in the cattle industry. The screwworm, now confirmed case within 70 miles of the border.
Oh, getting closer.
And the NCBA and all, like the Texas Southwest Cattle Raisers and Texas Cattle Feeder Association, whatever, they have been just pleading with the USDA to open the border because they want those Mexican cattle to feed, because that's primarily what gets fed and grazed out a lot in the southern plains, and just they're dying, especially all the big corporate feed yards and whatnot. And that had to just be a gut punch to them, because they announced, I think it was on Sunday, that pretty much like stop even asking about the border reopening, because it ain't happening no time soon. I mean, it'll probably happen eventually, but it's and the markets responded favorably on Monday, as a result, which naturally, that would have been very bearish news if all of a sudden the border was open. We had an influx of cattle out of Mexico, but just one little recent story that I didn't want to leave totally unmentioned. But.
Okay, there you go. All right, guys. Well, I guess it would help if I turned the volume on.
Let me start off with 2 words. Made in America.
All right. So I just tried this out. I was actually had run to one of our little local hardware stores, and it just caught my eye that it's deodorant, and it's Dr. Squatch, but
I've heard of them.
It's aluminum free. Now, I've tried this stuff before, and I would smell like fried onions at the fair and be like, and freaking sweating like crazy.
Well, that's been another one of those Maha things, kind of, more or less. That group's like, oh, we need to no aluminum in our deodorant. And people always, like, when it gets to be summertime, it's like, oh, you assholes want to
get that aluminum back out.
Y'all need all the aluminum in your deodorant.
Yep.
Because I've done the same thing. And, like, oh, yeah, like it lasts. Like, if you get 2-3 hours out of it, you're doing good.
I put this on in the morning, and I worked in it, and I even pumped iron, and I still was solid. Like, this was really good. It's made in USA, and this one is the Odor Squatching Deodorant Freedom Fresh. I mean, look at that American-looking stick of deodorant. And it uses, what caught my eye is it uses arrowroot. And that's actually the powder that we use in the tallow to keep it from being like really like slimy. So I was like, I'm curious. So I tried it, and actually it did pretty good for me. And I didn't stink, and I didn't sweat any more than I normally would. So I would say try out the Dr. Squatch. And I mean, hey, look, I think Sydney Sweeney's a babe, and Dr. Squatch was the one that did her bathwater soap.
Yeah.
I never tried any of that one.
I'm not that desperate. Like, I have a smoking hot wife who does get naked.
Do you drink her bathwater?
No.
Oh, you hadn't made it into like a bar of soap or something yet?
Like my wife's bathwater?
Yeah.
My wife rarely takes baths.
Oh, she don't clean herself?
She takes showers.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I guess I could catch her shower water, but that just doesn't ring quite so. Which I've always heard. I remember when I was in college.
Man, I drink her bath water.
Yeah. If you saw a smoking hot chick, which Lord, living in a fraternity house, some of the most awful things you could imagine. That was one of the milder things that people would say. I drink her bath water.
Man, I heard a real good one. Good buddy of mine. I'll tell you who it is off air. I may have told you this before, and I don't know where he got this from, but I then later heard Don Fry, the Predator. I heard him make this same reference. I don't know if he got it from Don, but he was like, we were talking about some hot chick, and he said, man, I'd drag my dick through half a mile of broken glass just to jerk off in her shadow.
Yeah.
It's pretty good to me.
Living in a fraternity house 20 years ago, it was always like, what would be the most
foul,
ridiculously offensive, like awful thing, like you could say to like get any kind of a reaction. People like, oh damn, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm so glad that like, I mean, even camera phones weren't like and like when you had a camera phone, it was like the flip phone that would take a real grainy picture. I don't even know that you could shoot video with them. I'm like, man, I'm so glad that there wasn't like people like secretly recording any of the things that we ever said or
Tech
talked
school.
about or did.
Tech school had that. We had some guys in
very
there.
Similar. I mean, it's just a bunch of young dudes, you know, nothing but testosterone.
Yeah, some girl walked in one time in tech school, and there was a guy in there, and he was a little rowdy. And after she walked out, he said, boy, she had a pretty good butt on her. And he said, man, I'd eat the corn out of that booty right there. And I was like, eat the corn out of that? And he said, yeah, man. And I was like, that's pretty foul.
Yeah.
He said, I'd eat the corn out of that booty. Like,
I've heard similar. Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, we need y'all to do a couple of things for us. We need you to leave us ratings, 5 stars on Spotify, Apple, and anywhere else you listen. Leave us those ratings on there. We'll read them if you leave us some good ones. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button, hit subscribe, comment below. Let us know what you thought of the episode. Go to talkdirtpodcast.com, submit your questions on the contact page, and we will get to them. And then also, they need to do what?
Visit agzaga.com. Fill up that shopping cart. When you go to checkout, you're going to make an account. Doesn't cost you nothing. When you go to checkout, then you're going to, there's a discount code. TalkDirt20. Free shipping. $20 off. Whatever you need. Check them out. All kinds of good stuff. New stuff being added all the time, like I said at the top. And TractorMat.com.
Yep.
Which y'all know exactly what they have. The name is pretty clever.
Yes,
but
it
they
is.
make mats to go in your tractor or your combine. Check them out. See if they got your model, make and model number. It's going to be custom precision fit for that machine. Yeah, don't live like an animal. I mean, your tractor, your combine, that's your office.
That's right.
You want it to stay clean, stay tidy. Maybe your lady friend's going to come ride with you. You know, you're going to be harvesting late on Friday night. Y'all are missing date night. You don't want her. She doesn't want to climb up into a dirty cab.
Nope.
Get you a tractor mat. Discount code, what is it?
It is Talk Dirt, all caps, all one word, 15% off.
15% off. Can't beat it.
That's right. All right, guys. Catch you next week.